Alright, hello everybody, this is Starman. Welcome back to Let's Play Leisure Suit Larry Wet Dreams Dry Twice. Well, this is actually my second time recording this section of the game, having had my now infamous buzz issue pop up in recording the first time. I then went on to record two chapters that, for reasons I have yet to figure out, work perfectly. I can only conclude that somebody is having fun with me, but we'll give this a go, and if it doesn't work, you'll never know, because then I'll just have to re-record this again. Anyway, we are here in the suite of Swingle, the pervert who we met back in the island of the cannibal lesbians. And he said that he would let us have access to his treasure trove of information regarding the Cave of Cosmic Cognition that might be able to restore Faith's memory. I'm going to take a wild guess that it is probably within this safe.
I wonder what's in there. And above all, how am I supposed to enter a code into that thing?
Well, this is one of the more esoteric puzzles in the game, but it's not really a challenging one. We just have to fall back on our old adventure game instincts of grabbing everything that is not nailed down, finding a hammer if everything is nailed down, and pulling up the nails before taking everything that is now no longer nailed down, and just futzing around with everything until we stumble across an answer. Thankfully, as with most of the puzzles in this game, everything we need is in this room. And our salvation actually lies with the phone, which is also the source of one of the game's achievements.
Okay, what should I dial?
And we get options for a few numbers on here. And old school gamer reference here, 1-900-740 Jedi and 1-800 Star Wars used to be the numbers you called to get a hold of LucasArts games and Lucasfilm games back in the day before they became LucasArts.
Hi, I'd like to complain about a bug. Oh, wrong number.
Yes, because a gag in a lot of the LucasArts games was you could use the phone to try and report bugs.
Kahlua doesn't have police.
And of course, any teenage boy who's ever played with a calculator knows that that spells out boobs.
I'm going to dial K even if it doesn't work.
And there's quite a few other references here.
No, I don't need that. Now I have 108 minutes of peace and quiet again.
Lost gag, obviously.
Hello? Dr. Shu? There's no one there.
Yeah, that may be the most obscure one. That's a reference to the phone line run by Al Bundy in one episode of Married with Children, where he was offering people advice about their footwear over the phone as Dr. Shu.
It would take me too long to type that in.
And you do get an achievement for trying all of the joke options.
Sacrilege.
Okay, we're not going to do the Fibonacci sequence. Of course, the fun of this is that the actual answer won't highlight until you solve the puzzle.
No answer. Hi, I'd like to complain about a bug. Oh, wrong number. That's the kind of thing an idiot would have on his luggage.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course Larry got the Spaceballs reference.
I'll see you in hell. That number's easy to remember.
Yeah, that I think was the number you were supposed to dial on one of the old Leisure Suit Larry games, but you only got one shot at it, and then it immediately disappeared. Okay, so I believe I just got most of them.
Okay, what should I...
But as for the real answer,
Massage.
grab the massage wand from under the
Discreet
bed.
and versatile. Cute. You could conquer a very small world with that.
And this is, of course, a nod to the green tentacle and the purple tentacle from the Maniac Mansion series, although it was the purple tentacle who wanted to take over the world, not the green tentacle.
Strange nubs.
And yeah, we can't take the phallic cactus, the fertility idol, or the Mr. Wank's tissues.
Suspicious. I know I'm not supposed to pull levers where I don't know what they do, but... Now I remember why I didn't want to do that anymore. Maybe it's just a wetsuit hung up to dry.
Sure, Larry. Why else would there be a zipper across the mouth?
For the air hose. It's totally logical.
Really? You're so dirty-minded, Pi.
I like my leisure suit much better. I'm not touching that.
But you know what we will touch?
About average size, I'd say. Pretty handy when you can just take one of these things off again. Maybe it's just a wet...
Sure, Larry.
For the air?
Right. We could actually leave that down, but no reason to.
Soft and absorbent. They don't look like they've been used, but I'll play it safe and keep my hands off them.
Okay, so now we come to the heart of this puzzle, which is this chart here in the back.
That seems to be some sort of size scale. That seems to be...
Okay, so yeah, some sort of size scale. We've got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 colors: pink, green, white, black, and red.
I can't take those with me.
No, but
I wonder what's in there.
we can slide it aside to grab a few more items.
Somehow I can't help but think of Nari. I wonder what she's doing these days.
We actually will get an answer to that later in the game.
Why is it called a ball gag? I mean, it's not even funny.
And I can't help but wonder why things didn't work out with Nari. I mean, they probably could have after things got uncomfortable with the previous game. I mean, she and Larry honestly were a pretty good match, what with him being a retro throwback and her loving retro throwbacks.
At least Swingle has a change of clothes. How hygienic. I wouldn't fit into that, hopefully.
That's what he said. Well, actually, he did just say that, so never mind. Okay, so take a quick inventory. We have a white sex toy, a green sex toy, a black sex toy, a red sex toy. We still need something pink, though. And yeah, it's easy to miss this. It's hidden right behind the wanking stuff.
Plugs can seal up all sorts of things. I like beavers.
And boom, a pink sex toy.
Massage. To be honest, I haven't quite figured out which sex practice that's best for. It always falls off. I do feel a little weird with this one.
Inadequate.
Is there still spit on it? It's one of Swingle's, but this one isn't red. That'll seal things up. Not that I'm speaking from experience, of course.
Okay, so from here we just have to match the color to the appropriate part of the chart. All right, so with that done, we now have 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So now, with that done, we can use the phone
Okay, what should I dial?
to dial 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
That unlocked the safe. This must be the file Swingle was talking about.
And there's also...
For when you absolutely have to have a guy with you. What a blowhard. Not right at the moment. More in general. I'm curious to see what's in Swingle's file. Look at this pie. This must be the file Swingle was talking about. Ah, it's kind of sticky.
Only touch it with your fingertips. I don't want to even think about the diseases you could catch from that. Let me scan it for you instead. I'll put it all in my database so I can give you the information whenever you need it. Just don't hold me too close. Ew.
Okay.
There. I got it all.
What exactly is in the file?
Swingle has been very busy indeed. These are copies of historical documents from the crew that discovered the archipelago. Diary entries and letters, the captain's logbook, some pretty confused notes, and Swingle has also entered some notes of his own. The ship's crew actually entered this Cavern of Cosmic Cognition that Swingle mentioned. To open it, they needed a keystone, which they found. At that point, the records become a little muddled. It seems they learned a lot about themselves, but for some of them, it wasn't very nice. What they learned led them to break the keystone into 4 pieces. Captain Muffington, Regibald Cockburn, Lady Gobbledick, and the Marquis de Carnard, they each kept 1 piece. They concealed the route to the cave so that no one would ever enter it again.
This sounds like a job for Larry Laffer. What happened to them?
They all died under mysterious circumstances.
Is everybody ready to get this very important plot information?
Tell me about the captain.
Muffington first settled on one of the islands, which to this day bears his name. But whatever he learned about himself in that cave, one night, he couldn't take it anymore. He tried to sail the Unsatisfied out of the archipelago with a small crew, but huge waves smashed his ship against the rocks. One of them was the legendary Phallus Rock, which is still worshipped today as a symbol of fertility.
So his part of the keystone probably sank there with him.
Probably.
All right.
What do you know about Cockburn?
Regibald Cockburn started a family with Lady Gobbledick. Oh, that's interesting. His daughter later took the name Marley.
Wait, that's Bobby's name too. I should ask her about that. So Cockburn lived happily ever after?
He died of a broken hip from sex addiction.
Just what I said. Oh, what a life.
Were you listening to me?
You're making it sound like sex addiction is a bad thing.
Whatever. Anyway, he was buried on Muffington Island.
Probably with his keystone.
All right.
What happened to Lady Gobbledick?
She mysteriously suffocated. Not much information is available about her, except that she lived with Cockburn. Here's another one of his diary entries. My beloved Lady Gobbledick's grave must never be found by anyone. The dark truth must never be revealed. Only I know the way to her grave. It begins on the entry ends there. It appears the second page is missing.
I have to find that second page to get to Lady Gobbledick's grave and find out more about her keystone. What happened to the Marquis?
The Marquis couldn't cope with what he learned about himself in the cave. He threw himself into the Kahlua volcano.
Oops. That means there's no trace of his keystone, and it may have melted along with him.
But you could go to the volcano and look for clues.
Okay, so I have 4 keystones to find, and of course to locate the Cavern of Cosmic Cognition itself. Is there any information in that file that points to where I can find it?
A number of things point towards Kofuku Island. Swingle has even entered some coordinates where he believes the cave might be. But even if you find the cave and all 4 parts of the keystone, you still have a problem.
I have to marry the mayor's daughter?
No. You have to get Faith to go with you into that cave.
You mean I have to trick the dangerous armed cannibal lesbians to get an audience with their queen who has amnesia and wants to roast me?
Exactly.
As good as done.
And Larry, I don't know if this is even a good idea. What those people learned about themselves in the cave back then, it drove some of them crazy. Who knows what could happen to Faith in that cave? Or to you. Cosmic knowledge, self-knowledge, endless pleasures. That cave could be dangerous, too.
We have no choice, Pi. Faith is confused and has memory loss. Maybe the cave will give her mind a nudge in the right direction. And if it somehow turns me into a sex-crazed pervert at the same time, then...
Nothing will have changed.
Hey, I was going to say, then I'll just have to live with it.
Until you die of a broken hip or throw yourself into a volcano.
This is starting to make my head hurt, Pi.
Don't worry, I entered it all in your app.
And sure enough, if we check our to-do app, it does have the rundown of everything we need to do and some suggestions about where to go to start making that happen. Which is handy, but it does not exactly hold your hand on it. You know, it says we have to get an audience of Faith, but doesn't suggest how we go about doing that. It says we have to go to Gafuku Island to start looking for the cave, but we do still have the issue of getting all of this done before then.
That's the information he collected, and he drew penises all around the edges. He doesn't have a lot of breath.
Alright, well, first things first. Since she's just an elevator ride away, we'll go check with Bobby and see if she knows anything at all about her ancestor. Because I suspect that stone in the lobby is her ancestor's part of the keystone.
And?
You look like you want to explore my love cave again. Then again, you always look like that.
So that's a yes?
That's a no. Thanks. But I'm satisfied for the moment.
But I'm not.
Your problem.
Reginald Cockburn is your ancestor?
That's true. How did you find out about that?
He carries his brains in his pocket, sister.
Yeah, he does. Regibald was not exactly the climax of my family tree.
The stone downstairs in the lobby was his?
Yeah.
Larry, that must be one of the keystones.
Can I have the stone from the lobby? It's really pretty.
The only way I'd let it out of my hands is if I were to get another memento of Regibald Cockburn. Like maybe his legendary signet ring. It's supposed to have some truly extraordinary powers.
Really?
Is there anything else you can tell me about Reginald Cockburn?
There hasn't been that much written or recorded about him. He was deeply in love with Lady Gobbledick and led an uneventful life. I once tried to promote his alleged motto as a slogan for Kahlua, but the resonance wasn't there, so I gave it up.
What was it then?
If it moves, you can screw it.
Nice motto, but a bad slogan.
Exactly.
Where can I find the Cavern of Cosmic Cognition?
Nobody knows for sure. According to legend, somewhere on Gafuku Island. I used to drag tourists there to show them the remains of the advanced civilization, the stone heads. They weren't particularly impressed. That's why I don't bother anymore.
But if there are traces of an advanced civilization there...
I call it advanced civilization because that's all we have here. It looks to me like some people who couldn't tolerate the native mushrooms washed up here a long time ago and built strange things. And the founding fathers weren't here of their own free will either, but were shipwrecked here instead.
Somehow a lot of people have ended up in this archipelago that way.
There are still some of the guys who came here for the festival near the cave on Gafuku. I mean, why not? As long as they don't break anything.
I'll inform the authorities.
I still am the authorities.
Then consider yourself informed.
Of course, I make sure not too many people disappear. Nobody here wants any news of that to get out. Nobody.
I get it already. Did you know that there are female cannibals here?
Of course.
And that doesn't frighten you?
Of course. I mean, I make sure that they don't abduct any guests who are particularly well off. But say, if someone is clearly way behind on their payments.
Gee, why didn't she just do that to get rid of Becky?
But aren't tightwads usually tough?
I'm not eating them myself.
Well, you certainly made a meal out of me.
Of course, I make sure not too many people disappear. Nobody here wants any news of that to get out. Nobody.
I get it already.
All right.
Is the volcano still active?
It's actually quite active. That's why nobody goes there. Of course, there are always a few crazy adventurers who see that as a tough challenge. But then, that's the lava's problem, not mine.
Where's there an island around here with a particularly dangerous reef?
If I tell you that, will you feel impelled to go there?
Maybe.
With your so-called raft? Then it's better I don't tell you, or I'll have you on my conscience.
What conscience? Seriously, she's ready to throw people to the cannibals, but she objects to telling us where we can go find a dangerous island. Of course, that's because if she just told us, that will eliminate the opportunity for a puzzle.
I'm leaving now, and maybe another woman will want to have sex with me.
If she doesn't have anything better to do.
Or any one better to do. Heyo! Alright, so we head down to the lobby and we'll discover that Louis has abandoned the piano.
Okay, let's see what I can do.
Not bad. A man of hidden talents, our Larry. And you'll note that things have changed here at the bar, which I should mention another old school gamer reference here that is called the Scum Bar, which was the name of the tavern in the first Monkey Island game, but also Scum was or SCUMM, was the name of the programming language used for some of the early LucasArts games. The more you know. Anyway, we do have a new resident in the pool here, as well as an inflatable crocodile.
The inflatable crocodile is filled to the bursting point. I always wanted to have an inflatable crocodile in my pants.
And we can just totally grab that.
How's the water?
Wet. You stupid or what? Stick your hand in if you want to know for sure.
I didn't mean to.
Don't care what you meant.
Have you been here at the hotel long?
Are you implying that I've been here since the 80s?
No, of course not.
I have, though. My second husband ripped off this stupid investor and took him for a cheap suite. And then I ripped him off. Now the suite is mine.
I'm sure he deserved it.
You better believe it. Only number 5 was worse.
And now you're living the good life here?
Nah, I'm looking for a new husband. Let's hope number 8 is better than number 7 and is packing more in his pants than number 6. How about you, kid? You already spoken for?
I'm already on my 4th marriage.
So was I at your age. Trust me, the 5th marriage is easier.
I'll remember that.
Yeah, if you count the continuity of all the previous games, I do believe Larry has gone through 4 wives. I'm sure my buddy Jeff Hillary would know for certain about that. And if you aren't following him at Centaur Productions on YouTube, you should.
How's the husband hunt going?
Kinda stalled. Had a candidate in mind. Then he went swimming one night and disappeared. Well, one of his feet washed up on the beach. Don't want to marry a foot.
Nice drink.
Straight alcohol. Only way I can tolerate this meaningless existence.
You mean the whole leisurely floating in a pool under the tropical sun thing?
Here's mud in your eye, kid.
I have to get going. Don't drown.
And that is all we get out of Rosalie.
Her skin reminds me of something, but I can't remember which leather sofa it was.
Yeah, when I played through this last time, I talked to her before I picked up the crocodile and gave me a line where I asked if I could have it. But apparently I don't need to. I can just grab it like the adventurer hero I am. Dip has apparently run off somewhere, or was that Pip who ran the bar? Well, Doesn't matter, but Shawnee is still here. And we still can't sleep with her. But we can get
Hey,
one bit
Shawnee!
of useful information from her.
Who are these people who give you money?
They're from all different walks of life. I just have to build an emotional connection to them so that they understand my spiritual journey. Some people have real problems with that. They're just not in touch with themselves.
Or they're stingy.
Or that. I came to this archipelago to thank one of my benefactors personally. He founded this new, totally hip cryptocurrency and opened a new headquarters with his employees here on an island.
Cryptocurrency?
I'm sure you've heard of it. Clipcoin? Don't ask me exactly how that works. I haven't been able to use it to pay for anything yet, but it's good to have a reserve in your wallet.
Wallet?
Anyway, they're headquartered on an island that's completely inaccessible. An island completely surrounded by reefs. A lot of ships have gone down there. Some of them are really old. They must have been wrecked centuries ago.
Larry, according to Sir Muffington's log, his ship, the Unsatisfied, sank off a storm-tossed island here. We should take a closer look at that island.
You're right about that. But Shawnee, why did they open their headquarters in a place like this?
For security reasons, they said. It's private there. It's unregulated offshore waters and all that.
What can you tell me about the island with the dangerous reefs and the waves? Like, for example, its name?
No idea. But the coordinates of the island are -20 and 3. And your ship will have to be especially well equipped to prevent it from being wrecked too.
All I have is a raft.
Then even more so. You should put bumpers on both ends of your raft, otherwise the waves will toss you around and smash you against the rocks.
That would be a bad thing. Want to go with me?
No, I'll let fate decide. When the stars are right, the perfect wave will carry me there.
If that works.
I float through life like a feather on the wind.
See you later.
And in point of fact, we can try and go to this island here. Let's see, -20 and 3. And it's an instant death. Parallel parking isn't the easiest thing to do, but landing a raft on a storm-tossed island requires just a few additional skills, which clearly you don't have, or your raft is not compatible with this island. Maybe you can find a better way to equip your trusty vessel so it doesn't break into pieces the minute it gets slammed into a rock at breakneck speed. Well, no harm, no foul. And necessary if you want to get the achievement for finding every way in the game to die. Which I did. Well, I think we've got enough time for one more thing. In case you're wondering where Louie is.
Okay, folks, it's time for a laugh. Thank you. You're a wonderful audience. Just too bad you're not here. Except for you, in the back. What's your name?
Larry Laffer.
You sure look like it, too. It's one dynamite joke after another today. Today's the premiere of my new stage show, featuring exclusive new material never before heard on any stage in the world.
Wow.
An orc, a troll, and a Mandalorian walk into a bar. The Mandalorian says, "I roll a 7." The orc drops dead in its tracks. Says the Mandalorian, "Hey, I didn't shoot first."
That is not the way.
Okay. That one's kinda so-so.
And yes, you do get an achievement for standing here and listening to his whole routine. And the one which comes later. Because he has two.
Necromancer pops up in front of a busty blonde. She says, "Is that a high character value in your pants? Or are you just happy to see me?"
Clearly he has no charisma.
The other day, I ordered an escort service. But they didn't want to jerk me off. They just wanted to heal me all the time instead. They told me that's what happens when you're an escort at a party. So I said, I get the party bit. I found a great spell here that can even silence the dragon back home. Damn, that other joke book worked better.
These buns are from yesterday, at least.
Yeah.
So they're just like you.
Yeah, one new item on the buffet table.
I'll take one.
Imagine you roll for an orgasm, and all you get is wisdom.
Pretty dry and hard to eat. Pumped to the breaking point.
And yeah, looking at that, dry and hard to eat.
The other day, I was in the forest and saw an orc about to eat a beautiful woman. So I said, hey, and then I wanted to search the room, but I only rolled a 3, and then the orc ate me instead. Why did the rogue go to an LGBTQ plus tavern? He was looking for traps.
Boo.
I don't understand that one either. Let's try this one. Why did the City Watch shoot the warlock on sight? Because he was a black magician. This isn't gonna work. I better go back and test it again.
And I think this is where he cycles back.
An orc, a troll, and a
The
Mandalorian
Hawaiian
walk into a
shirt
bar.
is about as
The
loud as he is
Mandalorian
aggressive.
says, I roll a 7. The orc drops dead in its tracks. Says the Mandalorian, hey, I didn't shoot first. Okay. That one's kinda so-so. Hey, I'm trying to work here. What do you want?
I find your jokes
Yes?
And we can go through all the options here.
very bad taste.
Thanks. I'm glad someone else appreciates it. Most people just start throwing things as soon as I say something about their height, or that they're so ugly.
Wait a minute. Did you make a joke about me being ugly?
Sorry. You're probably still in the other room.
I find your joke
Yes?
really tacky.
Oh, so now the fine gentleman is suddenly a critic? What? Are we on the internet or something? You're just going to puke up an opinion and then walk away?
I'm still here.
And I don't know why.
This is getting oddly meta for
I
me.
find your
Yeah?
killer.
Thanks. A man of the world with refined taste.
Somehow no one has ever called me that before.
Then I'm the only one who understands you.
You know, that kind of worries me now.
Yeah?
Totally incomprehensible.
It's experimental material. Not everyone can keep up.
Your jokes are kind of odd.
I made them all up myself.
You did?
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes I take advice from my team.
You have a team?
Stop the interrogation already. Yeah, I take what I can get. Actually, I copy it all from a joke book. And I don't even have that anymore. I lost it. I had it with me at that crazy festival. Maybe somebody there switched it. Instead, now I got this book about role-playing games. But they're kind of strange. I mean, who wouldn't want to dress up as a sexy nurse or something in a role-playing game, but a mage? A healer? Or a dwarf? Well, I guess I'll just have to make the best of it.
Can I have this book on role-playing games?
The only thing I'd swap it for would be a decent joke book. Preferably the one I know. If you can get me that, you can have this dungeon master crap.
You ever get too old to be a comedian?
Honestly, I've been asking myself that for a while now. This rock star life in the spotlight, it's pretty exhausting.
I thought you were a comedian, not a rock star.
Hey, that's disrespectful.
Have you ever heard your own jokes?
True enough, I guess.
You ever...
This rock...
And we can go run through all the answers here as well.
I can imagine.
It's a tough life. But someone has to bring a little joy to the dismal daily humdrum.
Even if that dismal daily humdrum is on a sun-drenched tropical island?
This rock... Twat waffle.
Yeah, not the strongest ending.
Well, I'll let you get back to clowning around.
Hey, comedy is a serious business.
Dying is easy, comedy's hard. Okay, well, one thing I'm not altogether sure if I did the first time I recorded this or not, so if I repeat myself, I apologize in advance, but we can actually do something to make the bun a little bit less dry.
Now the bun is fully impregnated with alcohol.
And the less I say about
The bun
that,
is just oozing alcohol.
the better, but we now have a alcohol-soaked bun. Right, well, this strikes me as a good place to stop, because this is where I stopped the last time I tried recording this section, so hopefully I won't have to do this a third time. Thank you all very much for watching, and next time we will begin exploring the rest of Kahlua Island and see what else has changed since we've been away. We'll see you then.